We've got lights!
The electricity coming together. Bah, bah, bah.
Oh. It's gonna be harder than it looks. We're Erin and Brandon. For just over a month now, we've been converting this cargo van into a camper van so we can eventually road trip to every national park in the continental United States. We've installed the window, flooring, fans, ceiling, and walls, but one thing we're always coming back to is the electrical because it is such a big job that seems to be never ending. Now that we've finished the ceiling and the walls, we are working on some new tasks for the van. These are all things that Brandon is completely in charge of, but let's go check up on him and see what he's doing. No way, we're matching.
Are we really?
Yeah.
Traveling Atlas shirts?
Yeah. Wow, we are so corny.
I mean, we didn't even plan.
That was not a planned
Didn't
thing.
get the memo this morning.
So what are you doing?
I'm making the box for the electrical area so that I can start mounting stuff and get all the cables routed and hook up the electrical. Follow me.
Okay, nice.
It's just to contain the electrical stuff. I'd like it to all be in one spot, and there's all kinds of things like the inverter. I mounted this the other day, the solar charge controller. So I just want to have it nice and contained in this box so that you open it up, you see everything, but then when we're putting stuff in the garage, we're not messing up all of our electrical wiring. Lunchtime went well, got half the box built. Hopefully I'll finish that tonight, and then I can start mounting stuff and really getting the electricity coming together. Bah, bah, bah.
Oh. Hey.
No cookie for you.
Battery box is really coming along. I've gotten it to the point where the box is somewhat built, so I'm going to start mounting stuff and then running the electrical, which is really exciting because if we can get the electrical run, that means I can turn on the lights in the van, and then I can work as late as I want. The sun doesn't determine it. We'll see how far I can get tonight. The inverter will go here. I already mounted the solar charge controller over here, and we'll just have to start routing wires and see where everything goes.
So, a lot of times while Brandon is working, I'm off camera, and you might be thinking, what is Erin doing that is benefiting the van life build? What you might not know is that I am actually planning the road trip. So I've been researching the national parks, I've been perfecting the route as much as possible, and I have actually 3 different versions of the route. So we're hitting every national park in the continental United States, which is a big task, and we're trying to do it in one loop. We want to be home in time for Christmas, and we're leaving mid-July, so we only have about 5 months to do it, and I am trying to figure out how many days we need at each national park and what to do at each national park, campsites, things like that. Not saying that I'm always doing that. Sometimes I'm picking out fabric for the van, or I'm wedding planning, or I'm teaching yoga, or I'm babysitting our cute next door neighbor.
Puppy! Glued on.
I do a lot of the behind the scenes, and I edit all of these videos. Here are some of my fabrics that I got. Some neutrals, some funky ones. The color scheme I'd like for the van are blues, greens, whites, and creams, beiges. So all of these fabrics are from Schumacher, where my friend Gab works. She got me a bunch of samples, and I'm really excited about them.
The work is continuing on the electrical today. So far I've gotten both bus bars mounted as well as the switch. I'm going to move on to the inverter because I'm still waiting for some battery lugs from Amazon that should come in a couple days. Hopefully by Friday we'll have electricity in the van. We'll see if that's possible. It's Wednesday right now. I decided to build a lid for the box right now so that I could cut holes in it, which will serve 2 purposes. It'll serve the purpose of ventilation for the batteries so that they don't overheat. There's somewhere for the heat to dissipate. And also so that I can route cables into it through the holes. I figured that would be the logical next step, especially since I'm waiting for a couple things from Amazon. So I'm going to put on the hinges for this box. I've never built one before, so I'm just kind of improvising, and hopefully I have a somewhat functional box at the end of this. I just got these simple hinges from Home Depot. I think they'll do the job. They're not like the most beautiful thing, but I just need a rudimentary box. So hopefully these work. Get ourselves a functional battery box. Figured today was a good day to put on the lid because I don't have all the parts yet. So I built the top and it works very well. I'm surprised. The first time I've ever built any sort of a box with hinges, and I think it's pretty solid.
You're a regular craftsman.
You know, I'm gonna be by the end. I'm glad this was my first project because it doesn't have to look good. It's gonna be in the garage. I mean, it looks alright, but once I get to the kitchen and stuff, it's gotta look good.
Good job.
Thanks. That's all I'm gonna get done today because today is Erin and I's 4-year anniversary from the day we started dating. So we're going out to a nice dinner. We got a shower.
Brandon is out in the van. He just finished up work for the day, so I'm gonna go check on him and see what he's up to. How's it going?
Not good today.
Uh-oh.
I was trying to mount this circuit breaker for the solar charge controller, and I got it all mounted. I clipped the cables so that they're shorter because you want the shortest run possible from the solar panels. It gives you a higher efficiency. Got everything set, and then I was screwing one of the bolts back on, and I guess it killed the threads because I've been going at it for like 20 minutes. It's spinning and it just won't go anywhere. So unfortunately what that means is I probably need to replace the circuit breaker, which isn't crazy expensive, but then I just have to wait for it to ship, and it's just a huge pain. Now I gotta take these all off. It's just nothing's ever easy with this project. I don't even know. Well, I'm just gonna have to cut the cable. I already cut it to length, so that sucks. This bolt just won't come off. It's just completely, I guess the thread is just ripped. It won't go off or on. It's just so annoying.
We're always hitting bumps in the roads. When you're watching these things online, it always seems way easier than it is in real life. Take note, if you're interested in buying a van and converting it, it's going to be harder than it looks.
As frustrating as it is that the circuit breaker thread broke, I looked at my little inventory here, aka the chaos that is this, and I have 2 circuit breakers left that I was going to use on other parts of the electrical, but I can use those now, and then I'll be getting in a new circuit breaker on Saturday thanks to Amazon. So everything's good. It's just very frustrating when you put in a lot of work on something and then randomly something just breaks for no reason. Moving forward, the drama's over, and hopefully I can make some good progress on this and I'll get the electrical done Saturday now. The circuit breaker is now installed, and if I pop it back in, you can see that the solar still works. So everything is good. We're just out about $30 because of that. Now I just need to run the power from the solar charge controller down to the bus bars for our battery. Now the solar charge controller is complete. We've got the wires coming in the left 2 slots from the solar panels on the roof. The right 2 slots are then feeding into the battery bank here to either side, positive and negative on the bus bars. I also installed this inline circuit breaker so it's protected on both sides of the solar charge controller. So that's done, and now it's dinner time. It's time to go out to the van and continue working on the electrical. Hopefully today I'll get the inverter mounted on this wall over here, and I'll also get the battery monitor shunt set up over there, and then get the cables run from the bus bars back to the panel. And if I do that, then we will have power in the van. And I can turn on all these puck lights and the fans, which will be really nice because it's starting to get pretty hot out here. So I'd like to get these fans on as soon as possible. The last thing to do for the night is to connect the battery to the panel, and then once we do that, we can test the electricity on the lights, the fans. I can test the inverter since I've got that plugged in. So hopefully, if I do this, it works well. Without further ado, here comes the test. Got my fingers crossed, we'll see how it goes. I'm nervous. I have to turn the master switch from off to on. Ooh, I heard a noise. Oh, we've got power to the USB ports. And we've got lights. Let's try the fan. Oh, the fan works. Oh, yes. The front one works as well. I'd call that a huge win. The dimmer switch doesn't work yet, but I did have some issues wiring that up, so not a big deal. I can pull off that panel, work on it. I don't think this is gonna get old anytime soon. Lights on, lights off. Huge win, and I can't wait for Erin to come back and see it because she's at the beach right now and we had our inaugural power without her, so I can't wait to show her later. Look who it is. Do you want to see the electricity?
Yeah?
Well, obviously you can hear the fans running right now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But do you want to see the switch?
Wow.
We got power.
You made lights.
And look, I'm charging.
Electricity.
I'm charging my phone.
I'm so proud of you.
Give this video a thumbs up, and if you're doing a van build of your own, check the description below. I'll have everything that I use linked below, or at least I'll try to link everything below, down to the batteries, the battery monitor, the inverter, all that stuff. I'll have it linked. So we'll see you next time, and
Stay tuned.
stay tuned and see you next week.